Hi guys, I'm Icepick and I'm gonna talk about this new build in patch 2.01 Reaper of Souls. What I actually used is I reused some of the old items, added one new Witch Doctor dagger, and I've tested it out and it works absolutely beautiful. It's very nice and very fun build, and what's more important, it is viable in Torment 6. I've played around with it, I've tested it. I haven't got around to testing in Greater Rifts, but I'm confident it can do level 30 with my current gear. So let's check this out. First of all, for Paragon levels, you want to go with the movement speed and intelligence. Vitality only if you need some. Offense, go crit chance, crit damage, and attack speed. So crit chance and crit damage, yeah, make sure to have at least 50 crit chance, then crit damage maxed out, and the rest goes to attack speed. Uh, you can use cooldown reduction, but attack speed will actually give you more damage. As far as defense goes, pretty standard. Go first resist, then armor, then life regen, and at the end life percentage. Utility, you actually want to go with life on hit, area damage. Well, I don't think this build does any area damage, so pets don't do it. So the only thing that does area damage is piranhas, but that's negligible. So I chose to go with the gold find. Resource cost reduction is absolutely not important. So let's go over the main two items in my gear, and then we'll talk about the build and the rest of the gear. So what we want to do is we want to shoot poison darts. We want to use Carnevil because we want our fetishes to shoot the poison dart every time we do. And then we're going to use this awesome new ceremonial knife, the Dagger of Darts. What it does is makes our darts pierce. So the main reason the build with Carnival didn't work before was it was only a single target, and so it wasn't very viable. But now it pierces and creates this enormous amount of darts on the screen, hits everything. Crits are not that big, but there are a lot of them, a lot. You'll see that in the footage afterwards. So let's first go over the build, and then we will cover the rest of the gear. So you want to use the poison darts. This is your main damage source. So either go with the splinters. We're going with the poison build here. Either go splinters or snake to the face, um, because you're gonna stun. So if you like more damage, this is gonna give you more damage, and this is gonna give you some crowd control. Uh, you can go with the fire build. It's same as this one, just not as good. I'll explain later when we get to the gear part. So piranhas, pretty self-explanatory. Some crowd control, um, extra damage, and that's it. This one is actually an optional. So you can either take Big Bad Voodoo Slam Dance for more damage, or you can go with Zombie Dog Rabbit Dogs. So whatever you like the most. I chose the Big Bad Voodoo because I usually play in a group, so it helps the entire team. Okay, Fetish Army. This is a mandatory skill. Headhunters, again, poison damage. Spirit Walk Jaunt, well, pretty self-explanatory. Some escape and oh shit spell. Gargantuan, Wrathful Protector. Um, it just gives the most damage you can get from Gargantuan, so there's actually no point in taking anything else. Let's go over the passives. What I used is Bad Medicine because it's a 20% damage debuff whenever I deal poison damage, and everything on the screen gets poison damage. So this is one of the best spells you can take. We don't care about the zombie dog. Even if you do take the zombie dog, you don't want the fierce loyalty. You don't want a zombie handler, midnight beast, because your primary source of damage is actually gonna be the poison dart. So, but these are really not so bad choices. So you can actually use them if you go with the zombie dog instead of the big bad voodoo. So our next spell is Pierce the Veil. Pretty standard choice when you don't have any spenders. So that's it. Spirit Vessel. That just gives you more survivability, but if you don't need one, you can always take Gruesome Feast for more damage, or Grave Injustice for maximum life and cooldown reduction. Cooldown reduction is gonna help you with your Big Bad Voodoo, with your Gargantuan, so it's always nice, but you're actually not gonna be that close to an enemy, so probably you're not gonna get much out of this passive. Um, okay, so and the final part of our build is the fetish sycophants. Pretty self-explanatory. We want more fetishes, so more of them will fire poison darts. So let's go over the gear requirements. So these two parts are pretty self-explanatory and mandatory part of the gear. So next mandatory part is the Zunimasa 3-piece. So you will want to take the chest and the boots. You can replace the offhand with the ring, but unfortunately I don't have a good ring, so I had to take the offhand. Otherwise, you can go here with the serpent, or you can take the Thing of the Deep. So whatever you have best. Um, Unfortunately, you will need the Royal Ring of the Grandeur because you want Zunimasa to have your fetishes last until they die. That's very important because they do tend to die a lot, so you want to be able to respawn them pretty quickly, and Fetish Army Headhunters gives you 7 of them. The next item is also pretty self-explanatory whenever you are talking about the pet build. It's Tusker and Theo. Mine didn't roll so well. I would rather have critical hit damage here, but what you gonna do? As far as the belt goes, Harrington is the best choice if you play normal rifts, but if you play greater rifts, then you want to take the Witching Hour. Okay, so we are going to go with the poison build, and then these bands are mandatory. 20% more poison damage is the maximum you can have. That's the best piece of gear you can take here. There's absolutely no other pants that can do that. Oak Hill, well, yeah, I took it because it gives me some survivability. It also gives me more damage against the elite, so it's pretty good set. Also take poison skills. And as far as your as far as your amulet goes, I got a pretty good Hellfire amulet, but I would rather trade this passive for Zombie Dog passive, Grave Injustice, or yeah, what else is good? Gruesome Feast is good. Um, I don't know, any of those spells that I have here are good for a passive skill, and then you can take something else, whatever you like. So you can even take the physical attunement, jungle fortitude, because yeah, you're gonna be playing greater rifts. You want survivability, which is a problem. So there are actually many choices. These are the best, and the fifth one is actually the optional. Well, actually, let's say those three are mandatory, and you can swap this one. But I chose it because of the great rifts. Okay, so there's only one more thing left, and that's new legendary gems. Uh, Actually, I would rather have all three gems, but unfortunately, I didn't get a good enough Hellfire amulet for that. The best thing you can do on a Hellfire amulet is to sacrifice your primary damage. It gives you by far the least amount of damage from um, yeah, from everything. So uh, and also I would like, instead of life on hit here, I would like to have a socket, but unfortunately I didn't get it. So let's go over the only three legendary gems which are nice for this build, and they will all give you more damage and survivability. So let's first take this toxin gem. Poison all enemies hit for 2000 weapon damage over 10 seconds. Well, unfortunately, this is not a lot of damage, but once you get to rank 25, um, all enemies take 10% increased damage, and that's not only from you, that's the damage from your entire party. So this is like 10% buff on the entire party, which is awesome. Next one is increase the damage of your pets by 15%. Once again, this is a 15% damage increase on level 1. Extraordinary gem. Really good one. The most of your damage will come from your fetishes, so this is a great gem to take. Also, it gives you on level 25 more pet survivability, so that's gonna be great for fetishes. Um, and the last one is simplicity, which increases the damage of your primary skills. And also on level 25, your primary skills heal you for 2% of maximum health on hit. That's gonna be just awesome. It's so much life on hit, you don't have to worry about it anywhere else. And guess what? Poison Dart is a primary damage. Primary skill. So I actually wouldn't be able to tell you which one of these you should take first, and I would strongly advise all three gems for this build. So whichever you get first or level up first, use it, try it out. They're all good. I would say that the simplicity and the enforcer are superior to this one. But yeah, I could be wrong because I didn't get the chance to test all this. Anyway, this is it for the build. In a few moments I'm gonna show you a T6 Rift, so enjoy. Um, Actually, I forgot to mention one more thing, and the weapon. Yeah, this is very important. Actually, I didn't have didn't get a very good weapon, so my damage is is kind of low, and it could be so much better, especially with the 3 gems and an upgraded weapon. So what you want to do is want to get a new legendary item that creates a socket, and then instead of this socket I would like to have 10% damage, and instead of the cooldown reduction I would like to have maximum attack speed, because attack speed is very good with this build. But be wary that you have the what's it called, the breakpoint, the attack speed breakpoints. So I'll post them in the description below. Just don't go over it unless you can get to the next breakpoint level. So let's try some rifts. Okay, I'm just gonna show you quick positioning, stuff like that. This build is really so awesome. I enjoy playing it, which is the most important part, I think. So it takes some time to get all the fetishes out. Of course, the arcane is always a problem, but as you can see, everything on the screen basically takes poison damage. It takes some time to get used to positioning the fetishes, and this can be a problem, especially if they die in the arcane like this. But it's a problem if you don't have them, because then your damage output is really low. I didn't get the chance to summon most of them at the beginning of the rift because I ran into elite, straight one, and tough elite, but will be better later on, because the more fetishes you have, the more damage output, and you can get better fetish sycophants spawning. Okay, so let's just see. This is why fetish army is important, because you can resummon them fairly quickly. Of course, my gear needs some improvements, but as you can see, it melts the elites constantly. So in my opinion, this is comparable to the classic pet build we are all playing. So either poison or either poison, physical, or fire. And you can actually do single target damage, so you just target the one you want to hit, or you can go with spreading, so you just need to fire a bit before the enemy, and it pierces through the enemy, it hits him and everybody else, reduces their damage. So it's really fun build for me, actually. So that's the main reason I chose it. This is a tough one for fetishes, but it would be so much better with the gem that gives them more survivability. So basically, the more sockets you have, the better this build is gonna be. So I would suggest to sacrifice your primary skill, your primary stat if you can, and go with the gem. Yeah, but it all depends on how much primary stat you do have, and if you can sacrifice something else. I don't know, life on hit or whatever you did get on a ring or an amulet that you can do without. So this build doesn't have the burst like Jade, but it is quite efficient on Torment 6, especially if you pair it with another player, let's say Reinhardt Monk, which gives you more crowd control. Then your fetishes do not die as often, and they can contribute to more damage and so on. So as you can see, the elite goes fairly fast, and it's a constant damage. You don't have to run around like with a Jade and so on. So basically that's it. I've proven that this works. This is actually one of the toughest rifts for the build because of the Morlu incinerators and Mallet Lord, because they kill the fetishes pretty fast. Well, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you try out this build and try to improve it as much as you can. And the most important thing, I hope you have fun with it. So I'm just gonna give you one more elite, and that's gonna be it. If you like the content, please subscribe, like and favorite the video, leave the comments below, ask me any questions you want, and see you next time.